guys can hear me. So, I don't know why, but it was muted there. So I'm going to give commentary on this video that had such a profound effect on me, and it's a very powerful video. So, let's watch. So basically what he's doing is he's taking us through a journey of the entire timeline of the universe as scientists best can figure at this point in our history. The video was made in 2019.
The Holocene has ended. What we do now and in the next few years will profoundly affect the next few thousand years. The only conditions modern humans have ever known so far are changing, and changing fast.
That's what he's known for, powerful music.
On this planet, everything changes. The Earth is going into one of these jumps, and you don't know what is going to be on the other side of those jumps. The Earth is always jumping.
I'll say this: if my novels are ever made into a movie or into a series of movies, I want him to play a part in those movies. The guy who's created this. And his entire team, because obviously they know what they're doing.
Things move on this planet. Things are not still. Everything is turning.
I'll let it keep going. Basically, showing how over the course of thousands of years, constellations will start moving in the sky. That's bound to happen. Supernova, or supervolcano eruption. We are well overdue at this point. Yellowstone in particular. Tectonic plate movements. This is a very, very powerful video. I strongly recommend you guys go and watch it on your own. So, the moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos, the closer one, I forget which one it is, I think it's Phobos, is just outside the Hill sphere of Mars. Which is to say, the Hill sphere, what it is a radius or a distance from a planet or whatever orbiting object, where if you go any closer, the object will disintegrate, depending on the actual strength, if you will, of the object that's orbiting. And I believe it's Phobos is just barely outside that Hill sphere. And in a few million years' time, it'll go inside it, and it's probably going to crumble into a million pieces.
As it begins to run out of fuel, the sun won't simply fade away to nothing. Its core will collapse, and the extra heat this generates will cause its outer layers to expand.
The inevitable expansion and depletion of our sun, because it has a depletable fuel source.
The sun is now dead.
Hydrogen and
It
helium.
remains slowly cooling in the freezing temperatures of deep space.
White dwarf. They last for a very long time.
The fate of the sun is the same as for all stars. One day, they must all eventually die, and the cosmos will be plunged into eternal night.
All stars eventually will run out of fuel. The temperature of the universe drops. The stars, one by one, in the night sky will turn on.
This is with our current knowledge of how the universe works.
And so that the universe will end not with a bang, but with a window.
From the Big Bang to 35 trillion years in the future,
Not in fire,
about
but in ice.
3,000 times farther out in time distance from where we are now, you reach the degenerate era, where primarily, or almost exclusively, the stars out there are white dwarfs. And those last for a very long time. Now, this is assuming there's no perpetual creation of new stars somewhere in the universe that we can't see or understand.
With no fuel left to burn, a white dwarf's faint glow comes from the last residual heat from its extinguished furnace. Looking at it from where the Earth is now, it would only generate the same amount of light as the full moon on a clear night. The faint glow of white dwarfs will provide the only illumination in a dark and empty void littered with dead stars and black holes.
In some ways, it's kind of a ghost universe. It's the corpses, the zombie stars, that will take us into the future.
Call them zombie stars. If you say so. So, 4 billion trillion years. Trillion, 10 to the 12th. Billion, 10 to the 9th. Add 9 to 12, that's 21. So 4 times 10 to the 21 years out in the future. Almost unfathomably long distance out in the future. Very, very long time. Basically, the entirety of this video spans Google years. 10 to the 100th years. A Googleplex. We're at the very beginning of the entirety of the universe, its entire history. There's a very small window of time where life can exist as we understand it.
A black dwarf will be the final fate of those last stars. White dwarfs that have become so cold that they barely emit any more heat or light. Black dwarfs are dark, dense, decaying balls of degenerate matter. Little more than the ashes of stars.
Basically supercondensed protons and neutrons. Neutrons. Because the electrons and protons in atoms collide into one another and neutralize their charge. Become neutrons.
Stars must take so long to reach this point, we believe there are currently no black dwarfs in the universe.
Now this is a visual to make it so that you can better understand how this works, but you wouldn't actually be able to see this. You can see the event horizon of a black hole because the energy that the stuff that's orbiting the black hole is basically superheated, kind of like Gargantua in Interstellar. But assuming there's nothing orbiting the black hole that close, you won't be able to see it. Another visualization of the rotational energy and gravitational forces of a black hole. Not how it would actually look. But in these vast expanses of time, they've got to give you some visual of how it's actually going to be, because there's going to be nothing there.
You could imagine living conscious systems which have a very different pace and therefore
such a vast expanse of time that the very atoms that make up your body, or all matter in the universe, will disintegrate spontaneously.
Every 10 trillion years, that would seem normal. Even if our life dies out, one could imagine at some time arbitrarily far in the future, a fluctuation occurs which allows intelligent life to exist again for a little while. So you might have islands in time of intelligence.
There are already parts of the universe. This is really the event horizon of the universe, if you will, where the expansion of space is so fast that you can't outrun it without a wormhole. So the stuff that we see at the very edge of our horizon of the entirety of the universe with our most powerful telescopes, past that, light is, or the fabric of space is moving too quickly.
Atomic matter, what makes us up, can just spontaneously fall apart.
Any material that evades the pull of a black hole,
It's the ether.
dies away as its protons disintegrate.
Scientists call it dark matter, but they have no idea what it is. It's the fabric of space itself. I am a scientist, by the way, so I can say that, yes, that's what they say.
The matter inside black dwarfs, the last matter in the universe, will eventually evaporate away and be carried off into the void as radiation, leaving absolutely nothing behind. With the black dwarfs gone, there won't be a single atom of matter left. All that will remain of our once rich cosmos will be particles of light and black holes.
This one lasts a very long time, so trillion, 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 million. 12, 24, 36, plus 6, 42, so 4 times 10 to the 42nd years into the future, and it lasts all the way to the last black hole, which is something like, I don't know, it's like 9 times 10 to the 100th years out, a Googleplex. Takes a very long time. Time is just progression of events, and our perception of it.
The arrow of time creates a bright window.
I could go on and on about this, but this is assuming that we're stuck within this one island of existence, this one reality, among infinite parallel realities, and that there isn't a point at some arbitrarily distant spot in the future, or close, where we learn how to manifest physical objects through our focused intent.
Life, as we know it, is only possible.
That is, as human beings are, reverse entropy. That's how long life is possible in the universe. Tiny little sliver. So about 100 trillion years, right? 100 trillion compared to a Googleplex is nothing. Again, if my commentary is bothering you guys, please go to Melodysheep and watch this video in its entirety, because this is really cool stuff.
They'll meet each other and they'll get bigger. Maybe they'll fall into the supermassive black hole and it'll get bigger. The universe will still be an exciting, dynamic place. It's just that the timescales you're talking about are now trillions of years instead of thousands or millions of years.
This guy and his team have mastered their art, their craft. It's truly impressive what they've done with this channel. I cannot recommend more, or enough, that you go and watch these videos, because this is just one of many that he has on his channel.
Black holes can bang on space-time like mallets on a drum. And they have a very characteristic song. Imagine two black holes that have lived a long life together. At the end of their lives, they're going around each other, crossing thousands of kilometers in a fraction of a second. As they do so, they leave behind in their wake a
Periodic dose of mind blow.
Waves in space-time.
This is just a visualization of the gravitational fields. Again, you wouldn't be able to see this happening. You might, maybe, might be able to see the flash of them unifying, but probably not.
Those are the gravitational waves. They're literally the sounds of space ringing. And they will travel out from these black holes at the speed of light as they ring down and coalesce to one spinning quiet black hole. If you were standing near enough, your ear would resonate with the squeezing and stretching of space. You would literally hear the sound. Imagine a lighter black hole falling into a very heavy black hole. The sound you're hearing is a light black hole banging on space each time it gets close. As it falls in, it gets faster and it gets louder.
So the black hole in the center of our galaxy is several million times the mass of the sun. All right? At this point, it'd be normal to find a black hole that's hundreds of billions of times the mass of our sun.
On that time scale, even the black holes begin to evaporate.
Yep. So, trillion, 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 trillion. So, trillion times 5. 12 times 5 is 10 to the 60th.
According to quantum mechanics,
Space is filled with virtual particles and antiparticles that are constantly materializing
Matter and antimatter.
separating, coming together again, and annihilating each other. In the presence of a black hole, one member of a pair of virtual particles may fall into the hole, leaving the other member without a partner with which to annihilate.
Reality itself is choice perception. Choice space, if you will. It is our free will, our choices, and the differences between them, however small or large, that make parallel realities. And there's infinite parallel realities, therefore.
Away at an increasing rate until they vanish in a gigantic explosion.
There's actually infinite energy, therefore, in existence. This is a singular line of time that we're looking at here. So it's really focused down.
A black hole.
Trillion, 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 trillion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And million. So 10 to the 60th plus 6. That's 66 plus 3, so 69. 1 times 10 to the 69th years into the future, your first black holes are going to be exploding or disintegrating. And again, this is just a visualization. What you see here is actually, like virtual particles, leptons, gluons, Higgs bosons, and stuff like that. That's why they all have different shapes and wavy lines and stuff. Because those are visualizations in particle physics of what these things might be doing. But in all reality, we don't really know much about it at all. And how could we? We've only been civilized, technological civilization for about 10,000 years of our 250,000 year history. 250,000 year history of 13.7 billion years of life or existence of the universe, and a potential life on Earth of about 1 billion.
Now give an answer.
This is what we know so far.
Latest evidence
It's not much,
shows that the universe
but it's
is not
something.
slowing down, but it's speeding up out of control. And the universe, we think, will die in ice. Trillions upon trillions of years from now.
Empty space itself has energy. In every little cubic centimeter of space, whether or not there's stuff, whether or not there's particles, matter, radiation, or whatever, there is still energy even in the space itself. And this energy, according to Einstein, exerts a push on the universe.
What is the weird stuff that's accelerating the universe? We call it dark energy. And this stuff is the dominant stuff of the universe. Almost 3/4 of the matter-energy content of the universe is this dark energy. And we don't know what it is.
Dark energy, unlike matter or radiation,
This is what I was talking about.
does not dilute away.
The fabric of
The universe
space.
expands.
The empty spots of space.
Implication
They expand as
for
well.
what the universe is going to do in the future.
So what will be the future of the universe? Well, if the dark energy remains dominant and repulsive, the universe will expand forever. Faster and faster and faster with time.
And again,
Runaway universe.
this is operating under the assumption that the fabric of space itself is not a physical object, but it exists.
Resides in empty space, and we don't understand why. But we do know what will happen. If that energy continues to be there, the universe will become cold and dark and empty. That's the future as it might be. We don't know. We don't yet understand the nature of dark energy. Until we do, we won't know the future. We won't even understand our own origins. And that's why we want to know and study this subject.
It turns out we can actually grab stuff out of dark energy, and it's just not there because we can't see it. yet, but we can grab stuff out of dark energy, then all of this is moot. And I think that's something akin to manifestation. The answer to this is absolutely there is. Imagine going to the edge of the universe and then a billion times farther out. You're eventually going to collide with other timelines. Right? Where different choices were made. So time and space are the same thing, right? Based upon Einstein's theory of relativity and all that stuff. So that means that vast distance can be converted into a completely parallel reality of the same universe, in fact, with one choice that's made differently. Right? That's one way of looking at it.
But then, of course, we have to ask, could that end lead to a new beginning? And there are ideas whereby what actually is the end of our universe could, in some sense, be linked to the beginning of a new one.
This guy and his team are all very brilliant people, very clearly. Very clearly. They can truly appreciate the things about which they are talking. And I look forward to the next video that they come out with. There's one that they've recently come out with that was a follow-on to this, but I want them to come out with the next one.
Equations. They seem to say that if you have an atom smasher that can concentrate tremendous amounts of energy at a single point, you can perhaps open up a gateway, a baby universe.
You don't need that. Create a wormhole.
Facing the depth of everything there is, this perhaps is their only possibility of escape.
A wormhole.
This also raises a very intriguing possibility, sheer speculation of course, that perhaps any universe that has intelligent life in it will create baby universes, will create lifeboats, and proliferate child universes.
You are all universes unto yourselves.
So
A universe of choice and perception.
Among universes in the multiverse. Survival of the fittest.
One reality where you make one different choice
So those universes which do
is
not
an
have
entirely separate universe.
They have no children. But those universes
There are
that have
infinite
mild
universes
stars
out there.
like us would create civilizations that could open up child universes, and they would then proliferate.
If I can imagine this as a reality, then it is real. Alright? It's the same with you guys. What I just said. I always thought this visual was kind of funny. It looks like an egg with spermies going outside of it. The opposite of what they do in the womb. It's nevertheless a really cool visualization.
After an unimaginable length of time, even the black hole will evaporate, and the universe will be nothing but a sea of photons gradually tending towards the same temperature as the expansion of the universe cools towards absolute zero.
So how does this make you feel? Like everything we do is infinitely unimportant, or that perhaps it's everything.
The very last remnants of the very last stars finally decayed away to nothing.
That the universe itself will become nothingness. But you exist and can perceive it.
For the first time,
and can create it.
the universe will be permanent and
You are unique and infinitely important.
finally stops increasing because the cosmos cannot get any more disordered. Nothing happens, and it keeps not happening forever.
There you go, that's that, guys. That's some commentary from me on it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or want to talk about it in any way at any point in time, just let me know and I'd be happy to do so. Love y'all. Peace.